Hello, folks, and welcome to a new episode of the Outdoor Evolution Podcast. So, our public lands are still in trouble. And that's what I want to talk about today. Everything that's been going on with our public lands over the last handful of weeks, what just happened 2 days ago, and what could potentially happen in the not too distant future. So I'm literally like 2 days away from heading up to Alaska to start my 400-mile thru hike of the Gates of the Arctic Traverse in the Brooks Range. And I wanted to get in one last video on the channel before I basically take off for a month. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out all of my prep videos for Alaska, like my food video, my bug video, my how I pack my pack video, I'll put those down below if you guys want to check those out. And if you want to see my full gear list of everything that I'm going to be carrying for my 400-mile, 19-day odyssey in Alaska, I just published a gear list over on my website, darwinonthetrail.com. I decided not to do a full gear layout video this year. I don't know, just wanted to do something different. So if you want to see that full gear list of everything I'm going to be carrying, my overall weight with gear, food, water, fuel, all of that, go check it out over on my website. And I'm battling a sinus infection that I got while I was out in California. So excuse the sniffles and the congested sounding stuffiness of my voice. So as I said, I'm about to take off and spend 19 plus days in the Alaskan wilderness, arguably one of the largest pieces of wilderness in our country, the last frontier. And I can't help but to think about everything that's currently happening with public lands, both in Alaska and down here in the lower 48, in my backyard here in Arizona. And what I'm talking about is a bill that is trying to be passed in Congress right now called the Big Beautiful Bill. And in there, shoehorned into it, kind of snuck into it, is a proposal to sell off public lands. Now, before I get into it, about 3 months ago, I did a podcast episode here on the channel where I talked about the current, or at the time, current layoffs for public lands agencies, both the National Park and the National Forest. What we could do as a community to help step up for public lands, help to give back, help to clean up on public lands, trails, and parks, and to write our congressmen, to write our representatives and let them know that we wanted to stop this because we cared about our public lands. And I think when I made that video, a lot of people took what I said, a particular part of that video, out of context, as people do on the internet. And I think what I said, basically, I made a statement that I do not want to talk about the political side of it. I have no interest in sharing my political opinions or hearing anyone else's political opinions. This is all about the personal side of it, the public side of it. And I think what people thought I was saying in that is I was making the statement that public lands weren't political, and I wasn't political, and I didn't care. And that's not what I was saying at all. What I was simply saying is I didn't want to get into a political argument with people in the comments. I didn't want my comment section to turn into this fight between Republicans and Democrats and whatever else you believe in, because I think that's silly and it's a waste of time to get in political arguments. That being said, I am a very political person when it comes to public lands. It's probably the only thing that I'm truly political about in this country because I've spent so much time on them over the past 10 years. They've given me my life that I have today. I don't know where I'd be without them. I've lived on them, both on the trail and in my van. They've helped me be creative and create this channel. If you're new to this channel, I'm the guy who back in 2020 started an entire public lands movement called #GiveAShit, where I was trying to get people in the outdoor community, in the outdoor industry, to step up and care and give back and donate and help to protect public lands from things that could happen to them like what's currently happening right now. I'm also the person who raised over $35,000 for public lands in a 12-month period in 2020. So trust me when I say I very much care, overly care for public lands. So is today's video going to be political? Yes, obviously it's going to be political. All of this is political. But here's what I'll say. This is a bipartisan issue. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat or liberal or whatever you want to label yourself. This is a human problem. This is a people problem. We, the people that pay and protect and love these lands. And if you're watching this channel and you are somebody that loves to backpack and hike or cycle or hunt or whatever it is that you love to do in the outdoors, and I would think that most people watching this video right now that follow my channel do love the outdoors, then this affects you. And it doesn't matter what side of the political fence that you sit on and what your individual political beliefs are. If you love and care for public lands, this affects you. So what I'm talking about is a bill called the Big Beautiful Bill. And what it was this big tax, well, what it is a big tax and spending bill that they're trying to pass in the Senate, the current administration, the Republican administration. And in there was slid in by a couple of senators, one senator from Utah named, Mike Lee, trying to kind of shoehorn in the sell-off of between 2.2 and 3.3 million acres of public lands, both national forest lands and BLM, or Bureau of Land Management lands. And the whole idea was they would sell off a bunch of public lands to private investors. And the idea was that private investors would buy up these lands, build housing to help combat the housing crisis, and to sell it off to lower the budget of the country, all of that stuff. Now, again, politically, do I think that our budget needs to be taken care of? Absolutely. Do I think there's a housing crisis? You better believe it. I live in Flagstaff, Arizona, and there's not a lot of places to live here. That being said, I think selling off public lands is not the answer. And again, I feel like if you watch this channel, if you follow me, you believe the same thing. Well, about 2 days ago, I guess maybe 3 days ago, it was announced that the Senate denied that part in the Big Beautiful Bill about selling off public lands and told the current administration and those senators they could not do that. Absolutely not. And that is solely because people like you and me, hikers, backpackers, hunters, anglers, cyclists, climbers, Republicans, and Democrats said no sale of public lands. We do not agree with the sale of public lands to combat in the budget. So first off, I want to say thank you to everyone that made your voice heard, that wrote your congressman, that sent a letter, that emailed, that called, that got out and stood up for our public lands, that bitched and complained and raised hell, because obviously it stopped it. It stopped it. Now, that being said, it stopped it for now. Because over the last 24 hours, it's been announced that Mike Lee and this other senator are now trying to revamp it and rework that part of the bill to still sell off public lands. Now, it's not between 2.2 and 3.3 million acres, and it does not include the national forest. So they removed the national forest land. That being said, they still want to sell 1.2 million acres of BLM land. Now, I think one of the reasons for this is because when most people, especially if you don't live in the West, you hear national forest or national parks, you instantly know what that is. But I think there's a lot of people that don't 100% understand what BLM is, maybe because your state doesn't have it. Out here in the West, we have a ton of BLM land, and I personally spend a lot of time on BLM land. There's a lot of amazing monuments, canyons, and forests, and just so much amazing, beautiful, protected BLM land. And out of all of it, there's 245 million acres that are currently owned by the Bureau of Land Management. But it's really owned by us, the people, no different than any other public lands. And the plan is to sell off between a quarter to a half of the 245 million acres, which is 1.2 million, which is a lot of public land. So Obviously, it's not over. The fight's not over. And I wanted to make this video because I feel like you instantly see like things on social media, you get emails, you read things in the news that say like, you know, the move to sell off 2.2 million acres has been stopped. And everyone's like, and then they move on to the next thing. But I'm here to say stay vigilant, my friends, because it's not over. And if they somehow pass being able to sell off this 1.2 million acres of BLM land, that's just the start of it. That's just where it's going to start. Because then that allows them to start selling public land, then who knows where that could go. That could be national forests, that could be national parks, that could be national wilderness areas. And I don't know about you, but that frankly scares the hell out of me. For someone that spends so much time on public lands, spends so much time fighting for public lands, these beautiful, amazing lands that we as a people have paid for to protect and preserve for ourselves and for future generations, that scares me. It scares me a lot. And I think if you're watching this channel, that probably scares you as well. Now, before I go any further, I want to say that some of the best ways that you can help stay vigilant is by continuing to support public land agencies, to continue to donate to public land agencies, nonprofits that fight for public lands, fight to stand up to Congress and say, we do not want to sell these public lands, and also that get out and actually spend time preserving and protecting and working on these trails and parks and forest and BLM land. Whether that's the National Forest Foundation, my buddy's foundation called Responsible Stewardship that actually goes out, picks up trash and gives back, or amazing companies in the outdoor industry. You know, back in 2020 when I started #GiveAShit, it was to ask companies in the outdoor industry to step up and give back to public lands, to actually donate money to public lands, money that they were benefiting off of and making money off of, to help continue to protect these places. And I want to mention today's video sponsor because I talk a lot about them and I talk about the product side of it. But one thing that I think that a lot of people don't understand is their stewardship side and how much time they spend protecting and giving back and donating to public lands. And that video sponsor is Onyx Backcountry. Now, you guys probably could have guessed that I would have said Onyx Backcountry, and over the last year, I've talked a lot about their amazing app, the desktop version, how I've used it to plan my hike up in Alaska, all the awesome features. But what a lot of people don't understand about Onyx is that they have a massive public land stewardship program, where not only do they donate money to certain organizations that take care of public lands, but they also organize cleanups and trail work across the country because they're a part of the outdoor industry and a part of the outdoor community, and they want to give back to the places that they use, which is what I'm all about. And one of the things that I've really loved about working with Onyx is the fact that I know when I talk about their product, when I use it, that it's helping to give back and create good stewardship for public land. So if you're a person that's like, look, I can't donate a lot of money, I can't get out and do trail work, I can't do those things right now, but you're a person that's like, I'm going to buy a new backpack, I'm going to buy a new pair of shoes, I'm going to buy a hiking app. Think about where you spend your money. And right now, if you want to help give back to public lands and support a company that supports our public lands, you can get the premium membership from Onyx Backcountry right now is only $1 for 3 months. $1 for 3 months. Or it's 3 months for $3 of the elite membership, which is what I use. So if you want to help support me, my channel, and help support public lands and give back, check out my link down below to again get 3 months of the premium for $1 or get 3 months of the elite for only $3. It's a crazy sale and it's a great way to give back and support our public lands. The last thing that I want to say is, what can we do as a community? Well, it's not only supporting awesome companies and awesome organizations that help to protect public lands, but it's also making sure your voice is heard. If you love these places, if you're a backpacker, a hiker, a cyclist, a climber, a hunter, an angler, whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, whatever you want to label yourself as, if you are a lover of public lands, then step up and fight for them. Obviously, it worked the first time. It obviously worked. The Senate stopped the bill from going through. That being said, there's still time for them to rework it and put it back in. So fight, say something, send an email, call, post something. Let your voice be heard. Get a hold of your local state representative and let them know to vote no for the sale of any public land, whether it's national forest, BLM, whatever it is, because if it starts with BLM, who knows where it could go and how much they could eventually sell off. So I'm going to leave a bunch of links down below so you guys can check that out, so you guys can get active, so you can send emails, so you can make a call. I'll leave all that down below, links of how you can help support the cause of us people protecting these amazing places. So, guys, that's all I want to talk about today. I just felt compelled to make this video because we're getting close to a deadline. I believe July 4th is the deadline for this big, beautiful bill to pass. And if they somehow get that slipped in and it passes, they're going to sell off 1.2 million acres of public lands. Let's try to stop that. What do you say? All right. Well, I'll see you guys in a month when I get back from Alaska. I'm so excited to share all that post content with you guys, share that adventure with you guys, and hopefully I'll have an awesome podcast episode to talk about to kind of wrap all of that up. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. I hope you're taking care of each other. I hope you're taking care of our beautiful, amazing public lands. I love you guys, and as always, thanks for watching.